on the recordings for live online training, which is great. So I'm not surprised we have just a handful of folks here today, but that is more than fine. I'm happy to work with you all and share what we have, and then we'll share that recording out to everyone else once we've wrapped up. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Russell Palmer, Assistant Director for Support Services here at Galileo. With me here today is Mike White, also in our support services team here at Galileo. Many of you know Mike. Mike is here just to help out with questions. Mike is actually very familiar with what I'm sharing with you all today as well, and he may have some insights or ideas or things that I forget that he wants to share. We're also looking forward to your feedback during this session. It is so great. We did a session on the other side of this. Mike did a great admin session where we talked a little bit about this and got some great feedback and ideas about how we might evolve the Bento search and the Bento personalization piece that I'm going to share with you all today. So please don't hesitate to share ideas. I'm going to actually give you time at the end to share some ideas I've had about how this can be shared and used. We're really, I think, opening up some doors to being able to really share Galileo content more effectively with students, faculty, and staff and patrons via the Bento search. And I look forward to sharing that with you today. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as I mentioned, you'll be seeing first my slide deck, which is, again, it's pretty brief and not incredibly detailed. But Mike, if you can just chime up and let me know that you are seeing that. That way I know everyone else is seeing it.
Yep, I can see it.
Thank you so much. And so there's our slide deck, and I'm just going to ride through the first couple of slides, and I'm going to start showing you around this. This is not terribly complicated functionality. I will say, for those of you with an interest in really going in depth with this, you might want to get with Mike to do an admin session if you haven't already on using Galileo Admin, where you can create new bentos for your institution. I'm going to cover exclusively the front end of this today, but there's a lot of things that you can do in the Galileo back end to create your own localized bentos, and I will mention those today. But Mike is the one that can help you with learning how to set those up. So let me go ahead and launch into our learning objectives today. They're going to be brief. This is a very brief session. I'm going to show you how to, as a user, activate Galileo Bento Search Customization. It is very simple and easy to do. It's a little tricky to look at, and if you have feedback for us also on how we can make this more simple to use, I don't think it's lacking in intuitiveness. I just think that, we always struggle with what to call things, what to name things sometimes. And if you have any advice or feedback for us on that, please let us know. I'm going to talk about how to add, remove, and reorder bento search boxes. I'll talk about how to create a custom bento search to use for a specific class or discipline. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to talk about how to share your customized bento search. Really, it's your customized bento view that I'm talking about with your collaborators and colleagues, because we've built some good sharing functionality into this to help you out with doing that. So really, I'll share one more slide. And this is something that we added in December of 2023. We didn't do a lot of fanfare around it then. We have talked a little bit about it at governance meetings and training sessions that I've done since, but this is the first formal training that we've done on this little bit of the bento that we've updated. As you can see, I'm logged in. This is a screen share where I'm logged in as Athens Regional Library System. And I have this little gear that now appears amongst my bento pillboxes. Some of you may have noticed this gear and wondered. Some of you may have noticed this gear and clicked on it. And if you did, you engaged the bento customization piece. So I'm going to just go ahead and start doing live demo because I think that is much more effective than trying to go through slides. So we probably will leave slides for a few minutes here. I'm going to pop on over to Galileo Search, and I'm going to actually run completely through logging in just because I'm in the mood. I'm going to log in using my University System Office account. It'll take me through the full single sign-on, and I'll have to double authenticate and everything else. Bear with me. And then I'm going to choose University System of Georgia. And then I'm going to log in. Odds I got the password right. Well, I did for once. So it's going to take me longer to log in than it is to show you the Bento search functionality that we've added. So I'm now all fully logged into Galileo. So you can start engaging this with a Bento search. One of the things that we've been talking about lately is you have to do a search before you can go into Bento search, unless you're going from a saved Bento search or from a saved Bento. That's some functionality that I'll point to while we're here, just so that you're aware of that. If you haven't seen it already, you can save a Bento search and share the link on a page as well, just the raw Bento search or Bento search with the results. But you can also share these views that I'm going to share with you as well. So I'm going to start by just going and doing a Bento search. Have a fun one. Well, let me do a real topic. Let's do hand washing and efficacy. I'm theming my session today to be related to nursing and nursing practice. So I did a search on hand washing and efficacy, which will bring up nursing content, consumer health content, as you see. Consumer health, this is a new bento that I just built to test out. We're going to actually probably deploy that for our public libraries and others that maybe want it soon. But just kind of testing out some new bentos, and I added that one. Also wanted to have one to show you that you can build a custom bento. Like I mentioned, if you haven't built a custom bento already or you don't know how to do that and you want to know how, Mike White on the team here is routinely doing a some sessions on how to use Galileo admin to set up bentos and other things. And Mike has recorded sessions he can send you that you can complete to learn how to do all those admin functions. Or Mike can work with you also to offer custom training. If you want that custom training on Galileo admin, if you just go to our support request page, which is at the top right, Mike will grab that ticket and work with you all to do that. Mike, are you finished? Pardon me, my question here. I'm asking Mike midstream. Mike, are you finished doing new admin sessions? Or I think you've maybe done the ones that you had scheduled, but you're, as always, welcome to doing those on the fly or sharing video training, right?
Yeah, well, the sessions we recently had were just going over the new
New
features with
features.
the existing admins, but we're
Hmm.
always, welcome to have new admins, and
Hmm.
I'll probably do uh, some in person, not in person, but live
Hmm.
sessions probably after the Galileo annual conference.
Hmm.
But if someone would prefer a live training versus a video, I'm happy to meet with them as well.
But setting up a bentos once you learn how is easy. I did two or three this morning just to show in this session. It is not difficult, and Mike can get you going with that really quickly. So we're here, and I've done a search for hand washing and efficacy just to show you a couple things that I mentioned earlier. What I'm showing today is bento customization, which is a step further than the first piece I'm going to show you, which I'm showing you in case you haven't seen it already. We've added a lot of functionality to the bento boxes themselves. And just as a FYI here, if I were to go into the scholarly articles bento, which came up with over 100,000 articles on hand washing and efficacy, what we've done there is, if you haven't noticed this already, we have built a full text only limit into this search now and other limiters. These limiters basically parallel what you would see in the classic Galileo search almost exactly. So you can limit to peer reviewed. I mean, you're already looking in scholarly journals. What that is doing is actually engaging the peer reviewed journal um, metadata that is in EBSCO host. You can limit by a specific publication. If you want to look in a specific publication, you can limit your results that way. Lexile range, if it applies, publisher, language, geography database, and of course, a custom year range, which can be helpful in that particular situation. Just a couple of other things that we've added to Bento in the last couple of years is we've made it so that you can see a longer or a shorter abstract, depending. People want to do different things depending on what they're looking for in the moment. There's a relevant sort and then also a newest oldest sort now that we've added, just showing you things that we've added along the way before I get to the meat of today. And then also we've added the permalink option for individual bentos. So just to differentiate what I'm going to share with you later, this is a permalink to this bento box. And when I click on the permalink button, it gives me two options. I can have permalink for this exact search, or I can have a permalink just to the scholarly articles bento. So if I want to put a scholarly articles bento on my nursing class website, if I'm a faculty member, I can copy this and then I'll have just that bento. And I'm actually going to take that through and go ahead and copy and paste this into my browser so you can see what it does. It just gives me that bento and I can slap it wherever I want it. The top one will actually capture your results. So if I want to copy my results, here and share those with a student or share those with a patron, I can just go ahead and slap that link in. I'm saying slap today, I don't know why. And then it takes my whole thing. It takes the search and all, and I can share those results really easily with someone. So this can be really helpful, if you wanted to, in a public library setting, share a list of ebooks that are relevant to a particular topic from Galileo or that type of thing. So I assume the ebooks bento came up when I did this search. So if I want to share a lot of ebooks about hand washing or related topics, I don't think they're all going to be perfectly relevant. I could share that ebooks link as well. So the permalink is there for everything. Again, the exact search one does just that. You can send the search results along with the bento search. The bottom one just gives the raw bento search that you could embed wherever you like without search results. So just wanted to share that piece of it because I think that's a key piece that we've added along with the ability to apply search limiters, which weren't there early on in our bento adventure that a lot of folks were asking for. All of that is available now, which I find to be really powerful. So that is just showing you a couple things that we already had. Now that I'm here in the Bento search, I want to show you just step by step through the Bento customization. So if I click on the gear button here, which is got text on it that says customize bentos. As you all probably know, we have been working very hard in the Galileo environment to do mobile first design and to integrate best practices related to accessibility. So we try to, even when we integrate a very visual feature like this into the Galileo environment, we try to make it as useful as possible as we can to anyone. So that's why you'll see those types of things. So here in the bento area now, you'll see that when I click that button, it lets me drag and drop to rearrange bento boxes, and I can remove bento boxes. So for my hand washing efficacy search, I'm a student in a nursing course, and hey, I want to really narrow down what I'm looking at and have that view available to myself later on. So I don't need this databases search. It's got no results anyway. I don't want journals search, no results anyway. I don't want encyclopedia results. I want my ebooks. I don't want news. I don't want magazines. I don't want Galileo open learning materials. I might want conference materials, so I'll live that. I don't want dissertations. I don't want audio. So I'm able to, as a user, turn off. I'm not interested in primary resources. I don't want the media button. I'm able, as a Galileo user, to turn off any of the bentos and have them disappear from my search. So I'm left with scholarly articles, consumer health, conference materials, ebooks, and no, I don't want that Digital Library of Georgia either. I'm a nursing student. There might be some interesting things about nursing in Digital Library of Georgia, but that's not what I'm interested in today. So then I can go, if that's all I wanted to do, I could click done at any time and I'm done. So now I have captured this view and I can now have a much more clean search for myself. I don't have all those boxes. But hey, well, what else is available to me here? What other bentos have been set forth by my library for me to look at? Well, let me take a look at that. So to do that, I go to more options. And if I have ever set this up and I just like, oh, I don't want to use this anymore, or hey, I'm working with a reference librarian and I need to be on the same page as they are while they're doing virtual reference with me, I can restore the default bentos if I want to. But I can also add bentos and more about working with the reference librarians with this in a few minutes. Well, hey, I want to add what's available. Oh, I need a lot of chemistry articles as a nursing student for my organic chemistry courses. So I added chemistry. And now I'm going to go ahead and scroll through and say, well, hey, I might want to add, oh, wait, there is a nursing bento that Russell built this morning and added to uh, the um, the site. There's a psychology button bento I can add. So I've gone through now and added those three bentos. And now I go ahead and click done, and you can see they're done. They're there. Well, now I may want to reposition things again. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my Customize Bentos button again. And hey, I'm a nursing student. I want my nursing bento to appear front and center. It's a little tricky when you're trying to put it in that far left alignment. Bear with me. We're working on that still. There it is. So now that's the first thing to appear. Chemistry is front of mind right now for me, so I'm putting chemistry second. Consumer health, I want to put that in that third spot because that's always of interest to me as a nursing student. And I think from there, I'm taking a psychology class right now, so that's my fourth class today. I'm going to pop that psychology button right there. I've sorted those. I have them in an order that I like, and I'm going to go ahead now and click done. So I've now created for myself a much more powerful bento search that is specific to my needs based on the bentos that were available to me that were created for me. So the next thing I might want to do as a dutiful nursing student who is working on multiple projects, and one of my projects is actually a collaborative project that involves multiple classmates in a course, and I want to be able to search for things and find them and share with them. So I did my hand washing efficacy search earlier. What am I going to do? Let's see. View. Well, I'll just do the same search again, just because I know I'm getting good results. So I'll do my search, make sure it's done. So I don't really need to redo my search, but it's there. And you see that even in the chemistry area, I get things on hand hygiene. So it's pretty good search. Well, I'm doing this project on this topic with my nursing student colleagues. I found these great search results that are useful that we need to go through as a team. And I want to share this search with them in a Google document. So from, again, everything starts and ends with the Customize Bentos button, the little button that you have here, the gear. So I click on my gear, and then I go to my more options, and I'm going to go to permalink to this layout, which will provide me two options as well. And those options parallel what we saw earlier with the bento sharing options that we saw in other bentos. I have the option to share a permanent link to my bento order. And this is the way if I'm a student and want to save and use this later. One of these days, we hope to have Galileo personal accounts. We don't have that yet. But all I need to do if I want to use this later is copy it, bookmark it, put it into a document, put it onto a personal web page, and that way I've got it for use later, however I want to share it. So I'll copy this top one. And this is just a permanent link to this particular bento search order. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that into another window so you can see. And it's all I've preserved here is the search box and then the order of the bento boxes. If I do a search, though, you'll see that I get results that fill in those boxes. If I want to share the full list of results, you see I have the permanent link to search results. So I'll copy that one, and that will already have my search results in it. And there they are. So it'll pick on all of my search results as well when I copy this. So this can be very useful. I mean, if you're creating bentos, just an example, I created a bento behind the scene. My nursing bento has about 5 databases within it. You can create a bento that has any of the databases that are in the EBSCO Discovery Service. So I created it with, I think I added Academic Search Complete, Health Source Nursing and Academic Edition, a couple of other ACS journals, a couple of other nursing related or nursing adjacent databases. The chemistry one is just ACS journals, and then a couple of ProQuest chemistry databases and other things. So you see, I can build these behind the scenes and then utilize them in with this to get a very powerful search. So if I wanted to, again, going back to the whole idea of the bento view, if I want to just share this view on a faculty member's website, if they want to share it there, or on a student project website, or on You could even share it a couple different ways. You could share it if you want to share it within Galileo right now. We're thinking about other ways to share it in Galileo. You could add this as one of your spotlights, and you could have just a nursing search. If you have a very heavy nursing heavy institution that uses nursing a lot, then you might want to do something like that. Add it to one of your spotlight links. Or you can obviously add it to websites and other places. But anyway, the permanent link to search results, I'll just copy that and I can put that again in any number of places and can share that in a way that is very powerful and basically call that. You could add it as a Galileo Express link if you wanted to. If you wanted to add that search as an item in your A to Z get list in Galileo, you could do that. So there's a variety of ways that you could share these searches, these pre-made searches or views with your users, which is the goal of the option here and the more options, again, the permanent link to this layout. That's how you would go about that. So that is pretty much everything related to Bento customization that I wanted to share. I'm going to go back to my screen and just recap some things here. We saw that this is where you engage it. The more options, I don't know, I had Charlie Brown on my mind this morning. The more options is where you can go ahead and add more bentos. The permalink to this layout is where you can capture those views, basically those configurations, those searches that you've pre-configured, and share those with whomever you like in whatever way you like. And again, the Bento customization sharing links are there. Again, one is just the order, the other is the results and the order. And just again, that's wanted to approach sharing these unique Bento customizations again and talk a little bit about it. We've talked a little bit about it internally, but we're going to meet and kind of think about how we can let it be easier for libraries to share these pre-made views or configurations for Bento in their Galileo environment. But certainly now you can share directly with collaborators within your organization. And I will say that those permanent links that I shared, when you go in and you grab the permanent link to the layout, it is institution specific. So a nursing student at Georgia Tech would need, or pardon me, at Georgia State would need to share that with another nursing student at Georgia State. I know we have someone from representing the GoView side of things, your GoView account. Obviously, there would be anybody with a GoView account, independent of their institution, would be able to use it, but it would need to be that same Galileo password for the GoView students. So that's just one thing to know. When you send that link, if they're on campus, they're going to just be authenticated to it. If they are off campus, they are going to be prompted to log in with their appropriate Galileo login method, whether it be password for those of you who are still on password or single sign-on for those of you on Open Athens. So just that works like just any other Galileo link. All Galileo links, that's how they work. But just to recap that. But again, certainly you can share those with collaborators within your organization with that expectation that they'll be logging in from offsite. Library staff and users can share this configuration with each other so they can be on the same page during the reference interview. So that same nursing student needs reference help. He's using that particular Galileo view that he's created. It is helpful if he can share in that virtual reference transaction that link back to the reference librarian so that they can be on the same view. But that's absolutely possible, and part of the reason why we designed it that way. Library staff can share a customized Bento configuration with a class via a LibGuide, a learning management system, a website, however, and I welcome ideas on how you all might do this type of sharing in your particular use case. But the Galileo team, as I mentioned, we're reviewing options for sharing searches within the portal. What can we do to do that? The options I mentioned, just to clarify those, and again, this can be tied to your admin training, just going back to the Galileo main page here. If you wanted to, you could share a pre-made Bento search in one of your spotlight areas. Those are customizable. Or you could add them to your all databases list and have them appear there. There's multiple ways we can approach in the current Galileo environment, adding a search so that it is discoverable for your users. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Again, this is probably going to be a short session today, but I welcome we're about 5 minutes left. Any questions that you all have? Any thoughts you have on how we might share? Mike, I'm actually in the chat now. Um, it's a good day when you both know and type in your password correctly. Yes, it is. Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Those of you using the GoView account, that's certainly still a thing for you. Other questions, comments? We're so glad we got that set up seamlessly. That's a lot. GoView is a lot. Doing a lot of good work. Well, I hope that was very clear and straightforward for you all. If you come up with ideas or think about ways that we might share this, better make available those pre-made searches after the fact, please let us know. We're happy to explore those ideas. We're going to do some exploration and brainstorming internally here at Galileo. We think there's a good functionality here that we need to make as useful as possible. This is a very early foray into this in that we just released this again softly, kind of back in December. We're seeing some uptake of it, but we'd love to see more use of it. All right. The floor is open too. If you want to use your microphone for a question, you're welcome to do that. But again, if there are no questions in chat or via mic, we'll go ahead and wrap up this less than 30-minute session. I love it.
I guess I'll just mention that
Thank you.
that when you're creating a custom bento, like the the health one that Russell showed, that you can
Consumer health, yeah.
add, yeah, consumer health, you can add multiple databases. So that can be
Hmm.
like all multiple databases that are under a certain subject, or if you have, like 4 Gale databases and you just want to
Hmm.
display results just for all your Gale databases, it works that way too.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. That's another functionality completely we didn't really cover today, but I think it's very powerful that you can organize your databases into subject areas or into by vendor if you want to, or you could organize all of your ebook databases into one place if you wanted to. There's lots of ways that you could come at it and do that very productively. Thanks, Mike. That's a good comment. Like I mentioned, I think I added to that consumer health database. I can't remember. I know I added consumer health. Health Source Consumer Edition, I believe it's called, something like that, and then a couple of other databases. The nursing one is I added some chemistry, psychology, general science, and then specifically nursing, Health Source Nursing and Academic Edition to that. So creating a much more powerful search, much more narrow search too, though, than a general discovery search, which is, I think, a great use for this. Well, thanks for that, Mike. And again, seeing or hearing no questions, I'll go ahead and let you all have about a minute back in your day. But thank you so much for attending and for your attention. And again, I'll get this recording out soon so that you can have that for your access. And if you have any questions after the fact, I'm popping my email address um, into the chat here. It's also in the slides that you got to think, but you're welcome to reach out to us and ask us any questions that you have. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great rest of your day.